if you can create an audience of people that really love what you are about, you will be able to create consistent success in your business if you provide them an offer that is completely aligned with them and their needs and where they want to get to. Not that long ago, we celebrated the 10th birthday of our members club. And it's pretty incredible to have had a membership for 10 years, given that a lot of memberships pop up and then disappear practically overnight. And so I'm so proud of what me and the team have been able to achieve. And I really wanted to walk you behind the scenes and show you how I have done it. And the biggest lessons that I have learned from having a membership for 10 years. And this is a membership we have welcomed in over, I don't know the actual real data, because a few years ago, I remember someone telling me we'd had, the 2020 data was 26,000 members. So we've had well over 30,000 people, paying people join the membership over the years, which blows my mind. It's impacted the lives of so many women. The success stories, the results have been phenomenal. It has generated millions and millions and millions in revenue. And it blows my mind, because I remember launching it and being so terrified and not having a clue what I was doing and being like, oh, will people like this? How is it going to work? What's going to happen? I'd created 1 month's worth of content when I launched it. And so to think of back to that day, and then to think now, over 10 years later, what it's become is just incredible. So what are the secrets to success? And when I share this, this is the same steps you would take even if you didn't want to create a membership. If you wanted to create an online course or any kind of product, you're going to be taking the same steps. So I really want to kind of break down for you how I have done it, because in my opinion, building a really successful online business, or any successful business, to be quite honest, it's about getting good at doing a few things consistently. And once you have figured out how to do those few things consistently, creating success becomes inevitable. Generating consistent results becomes inevitable. Because the problem I see with so many people with building online businesses is that you have this idea and you're really excited and you get it out there, but then obviously you don't really know what you're doing, and then you try a bunch of different things, and you then start trying one thing and you kind of making maybe a bit of progress, and then it's going a bit, maybe you're not really sure what you're doing, you're not getting the results fast enough maybe, and then you decide, actually maybe I'll just try this thing over here that blah de blah told me about, and then you start another thing. And I remember Ryan Dice once likening it to having loads of bridges that you're building, and you start building one bridge and you don't make it all the way across to the side, and then you start building another bridge because you've got another idea or another strategy that you're working on, and you begin working on that bridge, and then you get shiny object syndrome again and you hop to another bridge and you begin building that bridge, and it's all of a sudden you've got 10 unfinished bridges that you're working on, and you're absolutely exhausted hopping between them all, trying to figure them all out, and you've not actually made it across to the other side with a single bridge. So you're getting very inconsistent results, if any results at all, and you're feeling burnt out, wiped out, drained, deflated, frustrated, feeling oh my gosh, can I ever do this? That is the story that I see over and over and over again, and it doesn't have to be that way. I think that in this online world with online businesses and stuff, blooming heck, it can be so simple. But I think we get into a really bad habit of overcomplicating everything and then really overwhelming ourselves, which leads to burnout, not your dream business. So how have I done it? How have I been able to have those breakthroughs and create massive success and make millions and have build my dream life? And don't get me wrong, it is not, there's some things I would love to make better, and there's there's things I'm learning and trying to figure out and fix and work on myself where I'm at right now too. But I feel the life that I've created myself is the dream life that I set out to build. And so I want to kind of share with you those core moving pieces of creating that success. Because this is actually really simple. This is not rocket science. Anyone can do this. It's if you wanted to get really good at the piano, you would just go and, probably get a teacher, you'd take lessons, you'd learn what they were teaching you, you'd go and practice and practice and practice and practice, and you'd get better and better and better and better. Business is like that, only we are trying to learn 50 million different instruments all at once, wondering why we're not making any progress. Like, if you can just focus on a handful of things and just really slow down so that you can have a giant leap forward, you will be so amazed at the progress that you can make. And it's like, literally, instead of learning to play the piano, you're learning to play the game of business and how to make millions. Because why the heck not? Like, you're here to make millions. You're here to have that massive breakthrough. Don't think for a second that you can't do it, because we don't need those limiting beliefs around. Like, you can do this. I've witnessed people do this over and over and over again, and I have experienced it for myself, and I know it's 100% possible and doable. So what are those core moving pieces? Okay, this is simple. Firstly, you need to get people to discover you. So for me, when I started the Female Entrepreneur Association, I was really clear on what my mission was. I was really clear on like what I was here to do. Like, I really wanted to help inspire and empower women to build successful businesses. I wanted to bring us together so we didn't feel so isolated. I wanted us to help inspire and empower and support each other, so that we could create more and more success. I was really clear on my mission. I was really clear on who my audience were. And I started to really work on like, what is it that I have to say? Because obviously, in order to get discovered, you have to have something to say. Like, you have to show up and say something, because otherwise no one will know about you. So I started to play around with this and practice like showing up and like sharing, and sharing like little things online. But this was a long time ago. This was 2011. So I started out with a Facebook fan page and started to share stuff through my Facebook fan page. I also started sharing things through LinkedIn. I started to connect with women on LinkedIn and start to build those relationships. And I, at first, went all in. Like, once I understood what is my magic here, like what is the thing that I'm trying to share, and who am I trying to share it with, and how am I trying to help them? Like, once I dialed that little piece in, I then started to get myself out there and started to create visibility. And that is what I went all in on and focused on. I didn't get distracted trying to do anything else. I just focused on that. Don't get me wrong, I had like 50 million ideas going around in my head. But I was really clear on the fact that the only way I can make this a success is if people know about it. So how am I going to get people to know about this? So, like I said, I was using social media. I had a Facebook fan page. I was using LinkedIn to be able to connect, network, meet women. I was also networking at in-person events and connecting with people. Some of them were absolutely awful and some of them were really amazing. And I was having conversations. I was showing up and refining what I had to say. Every single time I had a conversation with a person, they said, "Oh, what do you do?" I had to get good and refine what I was here to do, I was here to share, what I was here to say. And so the more I practiced it, the better I got. And so I put myself in situations where I had to figure out and show up and figure out what am I here to say? And how can I say it in a way that's interesting and makes people want to know a bit more? So I was connecting, like I said, I was using social media and figuring out how could I use Facebook as a way to get myself out there. And the thought process I had was, how can I become amazing at Facebook marketing so that I can get in front of more people? Like, exactly the same as learning how to play the piano, you can decide to get amazing at something. Because like I said, it's not rocket science. Like, we can all do this. And so I started to learn how to get good at it and started to build some momentum, gain some traction. People were discovering me. People were like, stuff was happening. I didn't have anything to sell at all, but stuff was happening. I was out there, I was adding value, I was helping people, I was being of service. I also started to build my email list because obviously once people get to know you, you want to get them to like really warm up more, that you want them to get to know you on another level. You want to build a deeper relationship with them. And so I started to build my email list where people were giving me permission to send them emails, because that's another level, isn't it? Like, it's one thing to see someone on social media. It's another thing when someone's actually said, you know what, I like you so much. Here is my personal email address. Please, will you email me? Like, that's a whole different level. And so I began to build my email list and learn, like, how do I do that? Like, how do I get it out there? So I started to build my email list up. And for the first literally basically nearly 2 years of building the Female Entrepreneur Association, all I was doing was focusing on getting myself out there, getting FEA discovered, and warming up those people, getting them to know me, getting them to fall in love with the Female Entrepreneur Association, getting them to trust me, and building that relationship in really simple ways. So that was it. Like, I was creating valuable content. I had like my How She Did It series where I interviewed people. I was hosting, I created my magazine. It was originally This Girl Means Business, and it changed to She Means Business. So that was completely free. It was just free content. So I was learning, how can I create content? How can I, again, it comes back to what am I showing up and sharing that aligns with my mission, will resonate with my audience, and get people very, very excited to be part of my world, to be part of this space, to want to join me on this mission and stand with me side by side as we build our businesses and we create success and we go after our dreams. So basically I focused on that. And that's one, the first pillar is obviously, how do you get people to discover you? How do you get those people to fall in love with you? And then obviously at some point you need to get those people to buy from you. And for me, I really struggled with this part because I had a lot of blocks around selling. I felt like I'm doing this because I want to help women, and I really obviously genuinely do want to help women. So I felt like I can't charge for anything. It made me feel really inauthentic. It made me feel like I would derail my mission, because then it would be about me making money, not about me helping them. And so I really struggled and felt a lot of imposter syndrome around creating something to sell, until I ran out of money and was like, I have to figure this out, because I'd had a previous business. So I had money from my previous business, which is how I was able to do that, by the way. And by the way, I focus on building my audience for 2 years. You do not have to focus on building your audience for 2 years. That's an excessively long time. You can do it in a much shorter period of time than what I did. I was just really holding myself back on the making money side. But once I got my head in gear and I got over my money blocks and I decided I was going to create a membership, at the time, before I launched that, I had 18,000 people on my email list. I had tens of thousands of people. I think I had well over 50,000 fans on my Facebook page. And I was also, this is something else I meant to say. At the end of 2011, I started playing around with Facebook ads because, again, I needed to create visibility. In my first business, I'd use Google AdWords all the time as a way to create visibility and sell what I offered. And so I knew that when you could pay for exposure. And so when I was running Facebook ads, I started off with a really, really small budget. Obviously, I'd never run ads before. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just started to learn, how can I use this tool as a way for me to get out there and create more visibility? And so I literally had a $5 budget a day or something, and just began running ads to my fan page and running ads to my content, and just tinkering around and playing with it and seeing what's working, what's not working, and learning how to do that. And then when I created my first freebie, I was running ads, and then it really helped me to learn how to scale that. The first freebie I created, I had 6,000 people sign up for it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. But it's because I'd already started learning about how to run ads and how to create visibility and how to get people to see what it was that I was creating. And this comes back to the point of so many people have amazing, incredible ideas to get out into the world, but they don't know how to get people to see it. They don't know how to actually get their magic out there in front of other people. And it's the saddest thing, because it's this can work. It 100% can work. You can 100% create consistent revenue, consistent impact. You can do it. It's just, you have to fine tune the core moving pieces of your online business so that you can make it work. And once you know that and you can dial it in, it's limitless what you can make happen. So like I said, I was, before I launched my membership, 18,000 people on my email list. When I launched it, I had created one piece of content, which was Success Month, which was I called it a bundle of business love, where I just shared with people my my experiences and my exercises around like how to really condition yourself for success. It was like a workbook, a guide, a visualization. I think that was it. I didn't really have a plan for the next month or the next month or the next month. But I knew that if I tried to wait until I had a plan, I'd be waiting forever. So I was like, it's now or never. So I just was so terrified, but I got it out there and I did it. But when I created the membership, I had a few months before that, I'd like kind of surveyed my audience, asked them questions and, you know, like, would they be interested in it? Did it seem like something they would love to do? And I also checked in with myself, like, you know, if I was in their shoes, would I want this? And I was like, yes, I would want this. Maybe biased. But, and so it felt like it was the right thing for me to build. And it felt like really aligned with my mission, my business mission, and the gap I was trying to help close with my audience. Like, I could understand what their frustrations, their challenges were, and I understood where they were trying to get to. And I knew that my membership would help bridge the gap so they could really get to where they wanted to with so much more joy and ease and so much faster. Like, especially being part of a community. And, you know, for me, especially when I started the business, like, the networking part of it, being able to be in a room, even an online virtual room, even in just a Facebook group with the right people is so powerful, because the ideas that it can spark, the opportunities that arrive from the connections and the conversations is so powerful. So I knew there was a lot of power in what I wanted to create. And then it came about, like, how do I create this membership that pours, like, where I can pour my heart and soul into it, that really kind of brings together this community of people who want to support each other, who want to help each other, who are there to, like, they're on the same mission together. Feels like a sisterhood. And so again, it was like really getting clear on the vision for it, on the feeling for it, on the heart and soul of it, so that everyone coming into it could feel that and align with it, so that it helped make it a very, very solid community and space for people to be part of, even on like an energetic level. And so over the years of building it, just consistently showing up to create really valuable content and to just do things that add value and make a difference and serve our audience and help them to have those transformations has been what has helped us to keep it going for 10 years. And the other piece that's obviously helped it going for 10 years is getting really good at understanding how to sell it. Because again, like, so in the first year, I just opened enrollment for the membership and people could join whenever they wanted. Like, there was no open and closed launching. I didn't really understand about launching. And I was just like kind of promoting it as and when I could alongside doing everything else. And so, by the end of the first year, we had over 1,000 members. And that is testament to the fact that I had an audience. I had an audience of people who knew me, who trusted me, who loved what I was doing, loved what I was about, and who wanted to be part of it. And that is so powerful. Like, if you can create that, if you can create an audience of people that really love what you are about, you will be able to create consistent success in your business if you provide them an offer that is completely aligned with them and their needs and where they want to get to. Like, you will. And so for me, like, building the membership became about how do we sell this and how do we deliver an amazing experience that they're going to be so blown away with and so delighted by. And it was those two things. And so when I got to 1,000 members, I then hired a mentor and he taught me how I could do launches. So then I started doing live launches and like literally I flew to Canada to meet up with Stu to understand more about how I could grow my membership. So obviously at points, like, it is about seeking help. It's about investing in yourself so you can invest in the right knowledge to help you to get to the next level. I've spent so much over the years investing in programs and masterminds and accelerators and courses to help me to get to that next level. And that's what I did. And he taught me how to launch. And then I started to get really, really good at launching. And like the first time we launched, we went from, we got 1,200 new members joined in a week. And we like obviously more than doubled the size of the membership in a week. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And so then fine tuning that so that we could launch, and like, we'd got to 3,000 members and then 5,000 members, and it was just phenomenal. So again, it's like, if we break down that process, it's like Firstly, I focused on how to get people to discover me, my mission, my message, what I was about, and the right people, that dream audience I was going after. I got them, I found a way to get them to discover me. And I worked on getting really, really, really good at doing that. And then I focused on getting those people to fall in love with what we were about. So sharing really valuable content, obviously building my email list for the people that were ready for more and wanted to hear from me more regularly. And then I got something to sell, even though that took me a long way to get out of my own way with. But eventually I created something that I could offer them that would be super valuable for them, that they would resonate with and that would help them. And then I got really, really good at selling it. So once you can perfect those things, essentially all it is your customer journey. If you can dial in that customer journey so you know how you are doing those things, what you need to do, when you need to do it, how you need to do it, and you can show up and do it consistently, results become inevitable. It's so powerful. Like, most people are like all over the place, like headless chickens. And like, don't get me wrong, there's always an element of like chaos in business. Yeah, I get it. But you can still have a very clear process in place for how you do the fundamental things in your business that drive results. The problem is most people don't have that process in place to be able to consistently drive results. And therefore, like, they're doing that whole thing of like building all the bridges all at the same time, wondering why they're not making progress, they're not getting consistent results, and feeling like they're just completely burnt out and exhausted by it all. Like, you have to, if you are in that position, you have to stop. And you have to be like, right, I want to be really successful. I want to make my millions. Thank you very much. I want to make a difference. I want to have an impact. I've got something to share that I really want to get out there and share. So you have to go back to the beginning and look at that customer journey and think, where am I going wrong here? Like, what am I not getting right? And what are the things I can stop? Like, where do I need to place my focus right now? Because if, for example, you already have something to sell, but you're not able to sell it very well, it's not selling, then start looking back at like, okay, well, how are you getting people to discover it? Like, and is it that loads of people are discovering it and landing on your sales page and you're having all these conversations and no one's buying? Because then if so, I would say it's an offer issue and you've got to fine tune what it is that you're selling so that it really resonates more with your mission and your audience. Or most likely what it is that you're not actually driving the traffic to your sales page because you don't have visibility. If you don't have visibility, you've not got anything. You don't have a business because you can't sell to anyone because no one knows about you and your amazing magic and your amazing ideas. So you have to be able to build up that visibility and that credibility and that momentum for yourself. And it's simple. You have to just keep it really simple and just go all in on focusing on it. So if you were in that position, I would say make your focus for this year or the next few months to go all in with that and figure it out. Figure out, how am I going to build that momentum so that people discover me and know who I am? How am I going to get myself out there in a really, really big way? And get yourself help so that you know the steps you need to take. So you're not just throwing spaghetti all over the wall and again trying 50 million different ways to be visible. Like, that's, not what you want or that's not what you need. But it's like, get the help so that you know how to be consistent doing like one thing and get good at doing one thing really, really, really well until you've built that bridge, you've got to the side, you've got the results, it's working, it's consistent, you're doing really well, and then move on to the next thing. Like I said, when I look back and I connect all the dots, that is how I got to where I am. And anyone else out there who has built a really successful business has done the same thing. Like, anyone, if you think of anyone, even for example in the online space, who's built a successful business, they all have creative visibility. They all know how to get people to discover them, how to get people to trust them, to fall in love with them, to like what they're about. They all know how to get people to buy from them. And the ones that are really, really successful deliver really amazing, a really amazing customer experience that creates really happy, raving customers that makes them want to come back for more and tell their friends about them. And that's how they've created the level of success they have created. So get good at doing those handful of things over a period of time. Like I said, you don't want to be doing everything all at once, but get good at doing those things over a period of time, and success will be inevitable. It is impossible for it not to be. Like I always say, success is not an accident. No one builds a successful business by accident. It happens on purpose because you understand it and you understand how to make it happen on purpose. Once you understand that, there are no limits to what you can make happen. It's incredible. So I hope that it's helped, and I hope that it's helped just having a bit of a peek behind the scenes and just a reminder of just like, stop trying to do all the things. Stop exhausting yourself with all the things. Like you don't need to. You need to cut the noise. Get rid of the noise and make it easier for yourself, and get really truly clear on which of those core areas you need to focus on to have the breakthroughs that you want to have. If you have any questions on this or want more help and support on this, please get in touch. Send me an email, message me on WhatsApp. I'll leave the details below. If you actually do want to message me on WhatsApp, I will leave the details below. But yeah, get in touch with us, and like we are here to help you. And so yes, send us a message if you need anything, or if you have more questions. I can always film more podcast episodes for you on this. Anyway, I really hope you've enjoyed this. Enjoy the rest of your day, and just remember that you absolutely can build a wildly successful business. It is yours for the taking, so go make it happen. And I will see you next time for another episode of the She Means Business Show.